Man, I'm built different, period. I'm just built different, man. And I've always had an eye, discipline, and a work ethic that I've had at a young age that I just apply it there.
Have you ever imagined a world where your entire city, your home, your school just floats? Not on water, but high up in the sky, drifting on the winds like a dandelion seed? Sounds like something out of a fantasy novel, right? Well, what if I told you that in this world, school isn't just about learning math and history, but also about navigating the challenges of drifting across international borders without a passport? Today, we're taking a deep dive into the extraordinary world of the sky settlers and their incredible floating public schools. Picture this: vast, bioengineered islands, lush with vegetation, hovering thousands of feet in the air. These aren't just rocks. They're self-sustaining ecosystems, home to vibrant communities. Generations have been born and raised on these floating land masses, knowing no other life. They have their own governments, their own cultures, and yes, their own public education systems. These islands are at the mercy of the jet streams. One semester, you could be floating over the vast plains of North America. The next, you might find yourself drifting across the Pacific towards Asia. This constant movement presents a unique and monumental challenge for educators. How do you teach a consistent curriculum when your classroom's national context changes every few months? This is the daily reality for teachers in the Ethogerd Archipelago, one of the largest clusters of floating islands. We spoke with Elias Vance, a history teacher at the prestigious Driftwood Academy. You have to be more than just a teacher, Elias told us, his eyes sparkling with passion. You have to be a geographer, a diplomat, a cultural translator, and a bit of a meteorologist. 1 month, my students are learning about the American Revolution while floating over the original 13 colonies. The next, we're over Japan, and suddenly the Meiji Restoration becomes tangibly relevant. It's living history, quite literally. The curriculum here isn't static. It's what educators call a dynamic core. Core subjects like math and science are constant, of course. The laws of physics don't change just because you've crossed the international date line. But for subjects like social studies, literature, and language, the curriculum is fluid, designed to adapt. Teachers have a modular system. When the island's trajectory predicts a path over, say, South America, they activate the Latin American module. Students dive into the works of Gabriel Garcia Marquez, study the history of the Inca Empire, and even learn basic Portuguese or Spanish. Think about the language classes. Instead of just learning from a textbook, students might have the chance to tune into local radio broadcasts from the ground below. 1 week the next it's Mandarin. This isn't just about learning a language. It's about cultural immersion from 10,000 feet. The goal is to create global citizens who are adaptable and understanding because their world demands it. But it's not just about academics. Imagine the logistical hurdles. A student might start the school year technically in Canadian airspace, but finish it in Russian territory. What does that mean for their official records? This is where the SkyNomad Education Accord comes in. It's a groundbreaking international treaty signed by most ground-based nations. It recognizes the unique status of the floating schools and establishes a neutral, internationally accepted credit system. A diploma from Driftwood Academy is recognized in Tokyo, Berlin, and Buenos Aires. This accord was a massive diplomatic achievement, ensuring that these students aren't left in educational limbo. It allows for a seamless transfer of records and guarantees that their education is considered valid, no matter what piece of sky they happen to be occupying. So, how do teachers prepare for this? Professional development for sky teachers is intense. Before they even step into a classroom, they undergo rigorous training in what's known as geopolitical pedagogy. They're trained to handle sensitive cultural topics with nuance, especially when floating over regions with historical conflicts. We also talked to a young student named Lyra. She's 14 and has lived her whole life on a floating island. For her, this is just normal. It's cool, I guess, she said with a shrug. Last term, we were over India, and we learned so much about their festivals. We even made our own little holy celebration with colored powders made from flower petals grown right here on the island. My friend on the ground thinks it's weird. but I think it's weird that she's only ever seen one country. Lyra's perspective is a powerful testament to the success of this system. These children aren't just learning facts. They're developing a profound and intuitive understanding of the world as an interconnected whole. They see borders not as rigid lines on a map, but as invisible thresholds they drift across, bringing new opportunities for learning and connection. Of course, it's not without its challenges. Sometimes, unexpected atmospheric changes can send an island off its predicted course, forcing teachers to scramble and adapt their lesson plans overnight. Imagine planning a whole unit on ancient Rome only to have a rogue storm push you towards Scandinavia. Suddenly it's all about Vikings. This requires an incredible amount of flexibility and creativity from the teaching staff. They rely on a vast digital library, accessible island-wide, containing educational modules for nearly every region on Earth. Technology is the backbone of this educational miracle. Classrooms are equipped with powerful telescopes and real-time mapping software that projects the ground below onto interactive screens. What's truly inspiring is the sense of community. When you live on an isolated island in the sky, your school becomes the heart of your world. Teachers aren't just educators. They are mentors and pillars of the community. They help students process the constant change and foster a strong sense of identity, not an identity tied to a piece of land, but to their shared journey through the skies. The floating schools of the Sky Settlers offer a fascinating glimpse into a possible future for education. They teach us that our learning doesn't have to be confined by walls or borders. They show us that with innovation, diplomacy, and a whole lot of passion, we can create educational systems that are as boundless and dynamic as the world itself. It forces us to ask, what can we down here on the ground learn from a school that touches the clouds? It's a world built on adaptation, global awareness, and a curriculum written on the wind. A world where the morning bell might ring over one continent and the afternoon dismissal over another. A truly breathtaking concept for education. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. End of transmission. Reality will now resume.
Man, I'm built different, period. I'm just built different, man. And I've always had an eye, discipline, and a work ethic that I've had at a young age that I just kind of